welcome. We have been spoilt rotten over the last few years with pixel art modern games. Your modern retro, if you like. I think it's brilliant. Initially, I was a little bit like, well, why do I want to play on me new console an old style game? But I've become hooked and I've played quite a lot of them. All of them pretty good, apart from the odd little blunder. But there's been a few which have been heads and tails above the rest. This is one such game. Unmetal. It's a 2021 indie game, and it is so good. It is the only game in my life I've ever completed and immediately set to a higher difficulty and started again, and played all the way through again as well. It's just that good. The story here is the star of the show. The gameplay's good, I'll show you a bit of that as well, don't get me wrong. But the story and the dialogue options are sometimes quite satirical, sometimes witty, and sometimes just downright dumb funny.
You removed his glass eye too?
Yes, I took it out of his eye socket to chill out.
To chill out? Pulling out glass eyes relaxes you?
I'm not a sadist. I didn't enjoy pulling it out, but it helped when I rolled it around in my mouth like candy. I was under a lot of pressure, too much stress, and I'd end up making a mistake.
They're absolutely brilliant. You're telling the story to the Allies. So the game starts, I'm not going to give any spoilers, this is at the very beginning. The game begins with you being shot down in a baddie's helicopter by the Allies and captured. And you're telling the Allies that you were actually captured by the baddies and escaped because you're actually a good guy. And you're telling them how it happened and you're playing the story throughout.
That pilot was me.
Name?
My name is Fox. Jesse Fox.
You don't seem to be Russian.
Russian? Me?
You were piloting a Russian aircraft 2 hours ago.
I also drive a Toyota, and I'm not Japanese.
But then it does cut a little bit later to you're actually telling a girl you're trying to impress the story. So you're telling a story of you telling a story of what happened. It's really clever, honest. And it just works so well. But every single dialogue option is a treat. One of the many reasons that I replayed this game straight away is I wanted to do every single dialogue option differently to hear the different answers, just because they're really entertaining and really fun. Silly little things, like you'll be walking up to a guard and he'll sneeze, so you'll go, bless you, and he'll go, thanks, and turn around, so you have to run up and punch him. You'll be in a bathroom and a guard will run out of toilet paper. I might have that clip to show you, actually.
Hey, buddy. I have no paper. Can you bring me some?
Here you are.
Thanks, man. You saved my ass, literally.
You broke down the door and attacked a guard while he was on the toilet?
Yes, I beat the shit out of him.
Is that a joke?
No, I literally beat the shit out of him. That toilet paper wasn't unscented anymore.
Let's move on.
Not things you normally expect to find in games. You get the downright balmy, silly, funny things, like when you're in the sewers, you say there's a lot of rats and you felt like a bit of cheese. And then you turn into a bit of cheese as you run away. Made me smile.
Rats were down there.
Hell yeah. The sewer was infested with assassin rats. They were everywhere, rushing to devour me alive. It was horrible. It felt like I was a huge chunk of cheese.
Also does take a bit of a satirical approach and pokes fun at video game tropes from the Pixar age of the 90s and today as well. Like you'll be fighting a boss and they'll say, why didn't you just walk over and punch him rather than doing all these elaborate things? You go, well I couldn't, there was a ditch. You couldn't jump over a ditch? No. And it gives the reasons why.
This was no mere simple ditch. It was full of tentacles and blood-stained spears that moved up and down, and bony arms that tried to grab me, and deadly lays.
Okay, Mr. Fox. I get it. You couldn't reach him. For your own good, I'll not include the spears, arms, and tentacles in my report.
Complete silliness, but so much fun. And here's the clincher. The gameplay's tight. The gameplay is absolutely brilliant. When you first start, and actually for a lot of the game, you are playing stealth-like. This is modelled on, at least, I feel, the early Metal Gear games. Your character, Jesse Fox, looks a little bit snake-like. Solid snake-like, obviously, not the animal. And the tropes there, you can see the inspiration. But don't worry if you haven't played those original Metal Gear games. I haven't actually. My first game I played was on the PlayStation 1, which was Metal Gear Solid, not a pixel art game. It doesn't matter, it's interesting to see where it is, because there's been many other games in that style before. You'll get it, honestly. The boss fights are a joy to behold, whether you're facing off against a guy throwing grenades, or whether you're battling some giant trash monster. And of course there's other human baddies to fight as well, and you even get to go in a hovercraft and shoot missiles and guns at helicopters. It's just brilliant, it's so much good fun. It's just got every little thing you could possibly want in there, all done with a real tongue-in-cheek smile. Just for example, this is how you save your game in Unmetal. Bit more interesting than having to find a typewriter ribbon, isn't it? I've tried to show more gameplay here than talk because I think it really speaks for itself. I got it on sale, I think it goes on sale relatively regularly, but even the full price isn't too much. As far as I know, here in the UK you can't get this physically, but I think it may be available physically in the US. I'm sure I saw a Metal Jesus Rocks video where he picked up a physical copy, and that's how I learnt about this game actually. So wherever you're based, have a look, but just get it however you want to, digitally, physically, just play this game. Honestly, it's not only one of my favourite indie games and one of my favourite pixel art games, it's just one of my favourite games. So much fun to be had, a real gem. I hope I've managed to show it to you and do it justice, and until next time, I'll see you soon. Ta-da.